I was going to ask, what was your inspiration? Why did you become a chef? How did you become a chef? Who was your inspiration to becoming a chef? And obviously, it wasn't Warren Buffett.
No, clearly. Oh, and that point in my life, it was so strange. So cooking and baking was such an inherent part of my life. And I think, especially for a lot of people who bake, there's a family influence. And for me, it was my grandmother. That was how she expressed her love. She would bake for you. And if you wanted to spend time in the kitchen or spend time with grandma, you had to be in the kitchen. And if you were in the kitchen with her, well, she was putting you to work. And so I was by her side growing up. And then because she baked out of a wish to share and for love, it was always that positive thing. So then that became my after school hobby. And for a lot of bakers, now everyone's watching on social media. You get this inspiration, and that's my Saturday mornings would be spent baking. And so it never occurred to me that it was a career. It was always just my happy place. And so I studied political science in university along with sociology, didn't know what to do with that. And so I went into banking by default.
It's funny. Just a tiny letter difference made all the difference.
That middle end is the only difference there. I wish it was that easy, that all I had to do was take out that middle end. But, I was surrounded by people who, would hungrily wait for the housing index number to be released on Wednesdays or the prime rate changes to be announced. And I was the one in the corner with my eyes, oh my God, not connected with it. And I respected that they were loving what they did. And I thought, okay, well, how can I be that person? It's clearly not in this field. And I call it my muffin epiphany. I had a moment where this was the early 90s. And so interest rates were all over the place. I was in bonds and treasury bills tied to currency. Currency was all over the place. And I was up in the middle of the night stressing about things that were not a part of my engaged life. And I found myself in the kitchen making banana muffins, not because I wanted to eat them, but it was the one thing that was going to get my mind into a better place. And I looked down at the bowls and the muffins and thought, this is what makes me happy. And it was within 3 months. Quit, researched cooking schools. I found myself in the States. I went to culinary school. I went to Johnson & Wales University. And there used to be a campus in Charleston, South Carolina, not too far from you. But I went to the campus in Vail, Colorado, which was a fast track program. So it was a small group of us. We knew what we wanted to do, studied, got to work. And then I spent a little time. I worked in Texas and New Orleans before I made my way back up here to Canada.
Very nice. I bet all your friends really appreciated you in school.
Yeah, I was always the stress baker. So you could always tell when it was exam time or essays were due, because all of a sudden out would come the blueberry buckle loaf or the brownies or the chocolate chip cookies.
There's a hard test coming because we have a lot of confections here.
We're a lot of cookies to get through.